Here we are in section 3.2, numbers 1 through 6. 3 types of trees are in a local park. The number of aspens, it's going to be one variable probably, is 5 more than 3 times the number of oaks. There's another variable right there. And the number of maples is 20 less than the number of oaks. How many of each kind are there? So we have aspens, oaks, and maples. And it says here there are a total of 850 trees in the park. So that says aspens plus oaks plus maples equals 850. Okay, great. Now let's read back through it again. 3 types of trees in a local park. The number of aspens, so this up here says, well, let's write it here. Aspens is 5 more than 3 times the number of oaks. So if we have 3 times the number of oaks, that's not a 30, that's 3 times the number of oaks, plus 5, that gives us A. So if we put that right here, 3 times the number of oaks plus 5, that's your aspens. Then the next one, it says the number of maples, M, equals 20 less than the number of oaks. So you take the number of oaks minus 20, and that'll give you the number of maples. So here we have plus oaks minus 20, and then we have right there in the middle the oaks. And look at this, we have an equation. We're in happy math land right there. We just substituted that guy in there, and that one gets substituted right in there, and now we have an equation that we can solve. 3045, 5 oaks plus 5 minus, that's not a plus. 5 oaks, and then we have plus 5 and minus 20, that's a minus 15, equals 850. Add 15 and we get 5 oaks equals 865, and divide by 5 and we get oaks equals 173 oaks. So we take that, good, 173 for the oaks. Now we take this 173 and put it right there. 3 times 173 plus 5, and the number of aspens is going to be 524. And then oaks minus 20, that's 153 maples. So that's the number of trees in the park. Amazing. All right, very similar problem to what was on the preparation back here, but we have 3x minus 11y equals 5, and it says solve for y. Get y by itself. So we've got to get rid of that 3x minus 3x. We get negative 11y equals 5 minus 3x. Divide by a negative 11. Divide by a negative 11. So we get y equals 5 minus 3x over a negative 11. And we should also note that somebody might do it this way. So that certainly is an answer. But when they subtract 3x, they might write negative 11y equals negative 3x plus a 5, just switching the 5 and the negative 3x places. Then when they divide by a negative 11, they might divide every piece by negative 11 individually, which is perfectly legal, perfectly fine. But you get 3/11 x minus 5/11. So those are the 2 ways you could solve for y, and those are the same thing. Number 3, if grading in a class is set up so that for attendance is 10% and tutoring is 10% and homework is 30% and tests are 50%, what is the student's grade? So of this 10%, it says he got 80% on that. This is his actual grade. So he got 80% of that 10%. He says he got 50% on the tutoring, 50% on the homework. Oh, that guy was slacking like crazy, and 80% on tests. But he kind of understood the material fairly well. So here we have how we're going to do this. Let me see. You got 80% of that 10%. 80% of 10%, that's 0.8 times 0.1. That equals 0.08. You can see 8% is 80% of 10%. 50%, so that's 0.5 of that 10%. So he gets 0.05 there. 0.5 of 0.3, 50% of that 30% on the tests, and 80% of that 50%. So this is 0.15 and this is 0.40. So when you add all that together, he got a total of 0.68, or 68%. This guy did not pass the class. Look at that. He's got less than a C because he didn't hand in his homework and he didn't go to his tutoring. Ah, that's a sad day right there. Number 4, original price is $392.50 and a discount is 20%. We're going to be subtracting here because it's a discount. And the question is 20%. 20% of what? And it's of that. So we take 0.2 times 392.50. And it's going to be subtracted off of that original price. So there's actually not any algebra going on. You just have to punch that in your calculator, and we come up with $314. Don't forget the dollar sign. That grader will nail you. So number 5. Now on this one, we don't have the original price. It's still a discount, but we've got 45% of what we don't know. This is why we need a variable p. 45% of that original price, subtracted off the original price, just like we did over here, that is going to equal $73.90. We have to set up this equation because we don't know what the original was, and we can't take the 45% times this other price. We'll get the wrong thing. So price minus 0.45 price is 0.55p. Make sure you can do that. If you need to, do 1 minus 0.45 in your calculator to see 0.55. Get you there. 73.90. And then divide by 0.55. And we get p equal to, looks like it's 134.36. So that's $134.36. Boy, that was quite a sale to jump from 134.36 down to 73.90. Okay, number 6. It says 4 consecutive, that means in a row, odd integers. So these are just numbers. There are 4 of them, and they add up to 328. So here's how we do this. If the first one is x, the next odd integer is 2 bigger than that one. And the next odd one, so like if we were at 7, we'd have to add 2 to get to 9. If we were at 23, we'd add 2 to get to 25. So now we've got to add another 2 to get to the next one up, and then add another 2 to get to the next one up. So if we started somewhere, here's the next consecutive, and that's what gives us the hint there. Consecutive odd means that we're going to add 2 to get to the next one. And it says that these all add up to 328. So put plus signs in between them. And there we have 328. So there's our happy mathland equation that we're finally to. We've interpreted it, and now we're going to write out what the 4 numbers are. Well, we got to solve it first. 1, 2, 3, they're 4x, plus 2 and 4 is 6, and 6 is 12, equals 328. Subtract 12 to both sides, we get 4x equals 316. Divide by 4, and we get x equals 79. So if this guy's 79, 79 plus 2 is 81. You see how that just jumps from 79 up to the next odd integer? From 81 to 83, from 83 to 85. So 79, 81, 83, 85. Those are the 4 consecutive integers, and they add up to 328.